Peyton, man, I'm excited about our Witch review that we're about to do.
I am too. And actually, in preparation for our review, I went around the WRBL studios and talked about other people's favorite horror movies.
Really? How did it go?
Not great.
What?
Hey, Savannah, real quick question for you. What is your favorite horror
Is this
movie?
for your stupid movie show?
No, just continue what you were doing.
Coming up next on this special edition of the Prep Zone Football Preview, we're talking
Hey, Jack. What's your favorite horror movie?
What the heck? How did you even get in my monitor?
Through the power of imagination.
Get out my monitor!
All right.
This is my show.
And the Phillies won.
Hey, Alex,
No.
what's your favorite horror movie? Oh, crap. Okay. This is good? This is okay? Because I know the Heimlich maneuver.
I will remember you.
Hey, Connor, what's your favorite horror movie?
Hey,
Yeah.
what have I told you about asking me questions in the bathroom?
Not to?
That's right. Peyton,
Yeah.
you can go now.
All right. Cool.
Why were you in the bathroom with Connor?
That's great, Chris. Let's start the show.
What? Hey everybody, thank you for joining us on What to Watch. I'm Christopher Gates, and as always, the lovely Peyton Fretwell over here.
Howdy.
Hey, it's good to see you, buddy. Thank you for surviving the severe thunderstorms that we had.
Oh, man, it was
pretty bad. I heard
I
about
put
it.
on my big boy pants and put on my, my heating blanket.
Did you now?
Yeah.
Did you put the ventilator around your nose?
Yeah.
Did you now?
got a tall glass of buttermilk.
Okay.
I was
That's
in
pretty
it.
good. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. That sounds like something that people back in the 1600s would do.
It's definitely a white people thing.
I bet it was. I was going to use that as a toss-up to speaking of 1600s. Here's the witch, but you went up into the category.
I didn't pick up on your throw too. That's my
It's okay. It's all right.
professionalism.
Yes, we train very well for it every day. But
That's why we make the big bucks, and by big bucks I mean no bucks.
hey, please give us some.
But yeah, this episode's about The Witch, which we saw yesterday.
We saw yesterday. I'm sorry.
The
I got
days
my
run
days
together.
confused. Normally I'm back on Thursdays, but this is Wednesday, so oh boy. But yes,
Days are hard sometimes.
you can't help it. But we did see The Witch. Peyton and myself, we went and saw it, and I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Like,
Yes.
it's, one of my, I know we say a lot of times our favorites, but so far the movies we've seen have been pretty
Yeah,
good.
we are getting great pickings of movies. We definitely eventually will review a movie that we hated, but we've just been really
Meantime,
lucky.
This is one that we really did like.
Yes.
We really did enjoy.
I'd probably put this one in my top 5 horror films ever. That's
It's-
ever with an E.
And you know what's so great about it? It's not your traditional horror film. It's not
No.
the jump scare type. It's not the one with the cheap thrills or just overly gory or something like that. It's a particularly just good film, a well thought out pacing film, character driven, and it has those aspects. There's a few kind of jump scare moments in there, not
Yeah.
intentionally, but when they happen, it doesn't.
I found myself jumping at parts that weren't meant to be jump scares.
Yeah.
Like it would be a quick cut. It would be from something super silent and to somebody cutting corn, and I would jump really hard, and I would just feel
The dad chopping the wood.
Terrible.
Oh my goodness! Every time I saw that, I was just like, I know something's gonna
Yeah.
happen. I just know.
no
it.
spoilers. This is not a spoiler review.
Definitely it's
the
not.
dad does chop wood in it, as one did in those days.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
told.
kind of that's the thing that they actually do. That's what they did in the 1600s. So
great workout.
Yeah, he was
workout.
fit in that movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So I read. I don't work out.
So, this was written and directed by Robert Eggers. This is
Yep.
his first major film that he has done.
He's mostly known for production work, and this is his first film that he wrote and directed. And he's definitely an auteur, as the word would be.
Oh my
some
goodness!
French
Oh my God! I'm the thesaurus.
Yeah, that's some French for you guys,
Oh.
I think.
I felt that.
And
last time.
it sounds French. We'll go with that. But yeah, I actually watched an interview with this guy on Vice did an interview with him,
Yeah.
and he spoke about his fascination with myths, especially in the New England area. And he when he wrote this film, he said, I wanted to create a myth. He wanted to create something that seemed like it had a backstory behind it, which is really scary to a lot of people. That's scarier than something that just jumps out behind you. It's something that sticks with you.
I think that's something that a lot of people are familiar with, the Salem witch trials. Everyone knows about, or heard about that, especially during this time frame.
Yeah.
This is a huge thing, and Eggers does an excellent job portraying the lifestyle of what people were back like that, the Puritans.
Yep.
And there's a lot of elements of the movie that I remember studying this at school, and that I saw that I was like, oh wow, like this is something that I've heard about, the lifestyle that they live and how they were deeply religious, and how they were, a lot of them were settlers and they were trying to set their own ways, so they go out and try to live their own lifestyle.
Yeah, and it was a scary time for everyone involved because, they come over, they're looking for religious freedom, and they don't know a lot about this world that they've moved to. So it definitely leans itself to that supernatural aspect because you don't know what's going on in the woods because we don't know the woods around here.
They don't.
So it definitely gives off that uneasy vibe, and
make the vibe uneasy. It's the soundtrack. This is one of my favorite soundtracks I've heard. It sets the tone. Not since I think There Will Be Blood that I've seen a soundtrack that just sets the mood so greatly for this movie. Like every time you hear it, like, oh my goodness, this is a tense moment that's coming up, and it makes you feel uneasy. Even in parts where it's just it's mellow out, you get the character development. It still has that score, and it just hits you at the right moment.
Yeah.
You just know.
And when I was telling my girlfriend Sam about it last night, I told her the score did such a good job of making me feel uneasy about things that if there were no music, I probably wouldn't think two thoughts about. There's a scene where, and no spoilers again, they show a hare, or a little brown bunny, and you don't think anything about that bunny. You're just like, this is regular bunny. But the score does a good job of swelling when they show that rabbit, and all of a sudden I'm going, I don't know about that bunny. I don't like that bunny at all.
Everything about the movie, even the most commonplace things that you wouldn't think about, the movie itself sets it in such a tone that you just say, you question it. You question every motive that's going with it.
And I definitely loved when they dropped DMX's X Gonna Give It To You in the middle of that. Yeah.
Oh man, that was my favorite part.
You might have gone to the bathroom.
I think I did, because I remember hearing that pretty well in Deadpool. But I don't.
That was that movie.
Okay, because I heard the 1600 version. X gonna turn some butter. X gonna turn some butter. He's gonna turn it. Then he's gonna twist. Then he's gonna turn. I'm a terrible rapper.
DMX needs to make a comeback.
He really does. I miss DMX.
X Gonna Turn Your Butter.
I miss him and Nelly and that Ja Rule. I miss 2000.
Other 90s rappers.
I miss all that.
Cisco. That's Flash.
Oh, dude, man, Cisco.
Cicero.
Man, let's bring or
Coolio.
Hammer has a spoiler alert. Sorry, I gotta go ahead and say it. Hammer is the witch. He is. He really is.
Hammer.
Yeah, Hammer's the witch.
What? I don't even know what we're talking
Nobody's
about
gonna
at
watch
this point.
this movie.
Yeah, they've already cut it off.
They already.
So if you're still with us,
yes,
thank you first of all. And I just wanted to talk about the child actors in this movie.
Yes.
The girl who plays Thomasin, who is probably the closest thing to a protagonist that we have in this film, we kind of see everything through her eyes. Anya Taylor-Joy, such a talent. I had no idea who she was before seeing this movie. She just carries this film on her back. In a movie where everybody's good, that everybody was good.
This is a movie, I will say, I liked every character that's presented, from the mother, the father, and all 5 children. Well, not minus the baby. There is a baby, but minus the baby, because the baby's just
Sam was the baby.
Sam, he does such a good job just being in there.
Being a baby.
Just being a baby. But the whole movie itself, you have, there's the qualities and relatability of the characters are there, especially with the children. And Thomasin, I want to say Tomlinson, but it's Thomasin. The actress that plays her, she does, like you said, a fantastic job. You really feel for her character. She really does love her family. She really is trying to be a good person, is trying to hold things together. And it's just so hard because there's so many events that are happening that they can't explain. And when you see the movie, you'll see it. It's one thing after another, and it's just a spiral that just keeps going continuing.
And the kid who plays Caleb, Harvey Scrimshaw, who sounds like a malt liquor flavor. Harvey Scrimshaw. I'll have a Harvey Scrimshaw with a side of pickle juice.
That's a drink we'll get at the tap.
Yeah,
yeah.
We'll go to the tap and we'll order a Harvey Scrimshaw.
I'll ask them for that next time.
Just see what they bring.
They might see it's like, oh, you mean vodka? Here you go.
Yeah, I'll have that. You know, Harvey Scrimshaw. But no, he plays Caleb in this movie. And Caleb, other than Thomason, was the other child actor I was very impressed with.
Yeah.
He gives a performance in this movie. There's one specific scene I won't spoil, but he is just, I could not believe I was watching a kid, because it was probably a performance that I think a few adult actors would have a hard time making believable.
A kid that's under the age of, I would say, 13 or probably around that
He
age.
couldn't have been more than 12, 11 years old.
He really, for out of all, I would say all the child actors, he up there with Thomason as the actress. He just fantastic.
And it's so hard to find a child actor that that you can direct well and get a good performance out of. And this movie has 4 of them.
They do.
They have Thomason, Caleb, Mercy,
and Jonas.
and Jonas.
The 2 younger, they're the fraternal twins that are in the movie, and they play the role of fraternal twins perfectly. They're little kids, they run around, they do what kids normally do, and you know, it adds to it. And like you said, all the 4 child actors, they work well together.
And the dad and the mom also did really good job. Kate Dickey, who plays the mom in this movie, we know her from Game of Thrones. She plays Liza Aaron in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And turn our timer off. But no, she plays Liza Aaron in Game of Thrones, and that was the only thing I had seen her in. I had never seen her in a movie before. She portrayed this mother so well. You felt for her and everything that was happening. The dad as well. You could tell that they were just trying to, you know, make their family work in this unknown environment. And then when stuff starts to go down, your heart breaks for them.
You do. I felt really towards the end, I felt the most sympathy, I think, for the dad, because he really is a good father who loves his entire family, is trying to make everything work. Them being Puritans, they're over in America, on a completely different landscape, away from England. You know, they're trying to settle, and this just happens to them. And there's a scene, of course, no spoiler, where he's just, you know, he's talking, and the words that he's saying, like, it really beat on my heartstrings a little bit, because I was like, oh my God, yeah, I can relate to that. And it's the whole movie itself, from the setting to the child actors to all the actors, even those who have minor roles in it, it's well done.
Robert Eggers just does a great job of making you care about these people.
You do.
And I don't think the movie works if you don't get that feeling. If you don't care about this family, this goes for any horror movie or any movie.
I was about to say the same thing, yeah.
For any movie, if you don't care about the characters, then the movie doesn't work. And I think that's what a lot of horror movies nowadays do. They write shallow characters that you don't care about, so when something bad happens to them, you don't feel impacted by
Green
it.
Inferno.
Green Inferno, cough, cough, Green Inferno. That is a whole nother episode. I cannot wait to just rip that movie apart. Oh, Eli Roth, you make me so mad. One quick thing I wanted to address before we wrap this episode up. This movie currently, like we said in our last episode, you can check that out below, it has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it did very well with critics and made a lot of money this weekend. Made like 9 times its budget.
Of course, yeah.
It's like $8.5 million. So a cheap movie with good return. But on Rotten Tomatoes, if you go, you'll see that it has a 50% viewer rating. And a lot of people might seem to think that that's not a good sign for the movie.
I think one of the hardest things about it, and I'll go ahead and say this, since it's a movie, it's a period piece movie set during a certain time frame, one of the harder things it's going to take to get into the movie is the dialogue. It is set in the 1600s, and they talk like they did back then. They say a lot of thee and thou and a lot of dos. A lot of terms that we do not use these days. It's like reading a Shakespeare play. Yeah. So if you're not familiar with the terms or you're having a difficult time trying to understand it, that makes the movie a lot harder, I think, to be engrossed in. There were a few times myself that they'll say certain dialogue, how they're talking, how they present it. I was just kind of like, oh, wait, it almost throws you off. But the movie itself does an excellent job. Don't get me wrong. You'll understand what the movie is saying. You'll get it. but the dialogue can be a throwback. And like we said before, it's not a traditional scary movie.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people going into this movie, when you watch the trailer, it does kind of give off this vibe that it's going to be one of those movies. And I think a lot of the taglines were scariest movie in a century, and a lot of people went into it with false expectations. I think they didn't know what kind of movie they were going in to see. And the good thing about you and me is we research the movies we go and see, because it's our job.
It's a hobby.
Hobby, job. We don't get paid for this. I guess it's a hobby technically.
Yeah, you can do it.
Unhealthy hobby. Addiction maybe.
There's worse.
But yeah, and I think a lot of people went into this movie going, where's the jump scares, where's the excitement? And it just wasn't one of those films. A lot of small things happen. There's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, because it's a complete story. So people are wanting that payoff of jump scares right away because they went to a horror movie. But it's not like that. It's a slow burn, and it builds up to a climax like every good movie does. And I think down the line, this is going to be considered one of those classic horror movies along the lines of The Shining and The Exorcist.
I'm glad you said that, because that's another thing I wanted to point out, or we both wanted to point out. For you people out there who don't like scary movies or horror movies or movies that you don't like that, this is definitely one I would say that it does not have the traditional tropes. So it's not going to. If you see this by yourself, I don't think you're not going to be scared. I don't think there's enough. I don't really think there's enough elements in there, if you're easily scared, maybe. But I think for most people, I think this is a good movie and you'll enjoy it when you watch it. It's not trying to jump out there and give you a heart attack. It's not a heart attack inducing movie.
Even if you leave it unfazed, you don't think it's scary, you still watched a well-crafted movie.
Exactly.
And never a shot is never wasted in this movie. The dialogue, there's no scenes that could be taken out. Everything is important in this movie, and I definitely give it a watch.
I give it a watch too. I give it a watch, but just keep your expectations low, like you said before. Yep. It's not the traditional. It's not a Paranormal Activity. It's not a Saw movie. So keep that in mind. And
I wouldn't even say go in with low expectations. I would say change your expectations. Go in there. Go into the movie, heeding our advice. And know that you're going to go in with a complete story, and it's going to at least have good characters, and you might get scared along the way, and then the movie has achieved its goal.
But definitely it gets a watch from the both of us, and definitely a day one buy for me when it comes out on Blu-ray. And
I cannot wait to
probably
get this.
Be a rental review during Halloween time, which we can't wait, because this will be one of the horror movies that we'll probably be talking about when that time frame comes up. And so if there's any other reviews that you liked or you want to see for our past videos, you can check them out below at WRBL.com. Right now, you should see some sort of video or something that's showing some stuff. Look at our sexy faces right there. You can also check us out on Twitter, WRBL What to Watch. On Facebook, What to Watch. You can also check us out on YouTube and other social media platforms out there. And always tweet to us, give us a like, give us your suggestions, comments, whatever.
We have nothing else to do.
We don't have anything else to do. You can't hurt our feelings because we're on TV, baby. Doing the dream. We living it right now.
Our family doesn't talk to us anymore, so we need all the
That's
help,
okay. My mom don't even know how old I am. But thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And until next time, Peyton.
Peyton Frowell.
I'm Christopher Gates, and thank you for joining us. I really thought I left that long enough that it didn't change to this, but I see that I was wrong.
Can you do
wrong with that.
Can you do anything right?
I had him.
That doesn't count.